Hey there friends on YouTube, my name is Roger with Electronics and Gadgets. If this is the first time here, thanks for stopping by. Please hit the like and subscribe button. If you've been here before, thank you. My next video is going to be a fairly long one on the new Apple iPhone 14 Pro Max. I migrated from the Apple 13 Pro Max thinking there wasn't going to be many differences. I was wrong, there is. So to answer anyone's questions, yes, upgrade. I've had every Apple phone consecutively since the iPhone 6S, and they've all been great phones. This one is, of course, the best one yet. The new iPhone 14 Pro Max came out the 16th of September 2022. The new iPhone comes in 4 colors. Deep purple, the new color and for this year, and the one that I'll be displaying here, which in normal light it looks actually very, very dark, almost black. The gold, which is a very light gold. The silver, which the panel is white but the sides are silver. And finally, space black, which to me is more of a gray. The price is $10.99 for the 128 gig, $11.99 for the 256 gig, $13.99 for the 512 gig, and $15.99 for 1 terabyte. The Apple iPhone doesn't have removable storage like all the rest of them because the SIM cards are simply not as fast as the internal memory can be. And again, that's why Apple never went with the removable SIM card. The camera bump is actually considerably larger this year. And on the left side is the mute switch and volume up and down. On the right is the sleep-wake button. Missing again is the SIM tray. This year the iPhone is exclusive eSIM, which the eSIM has been available since the iPhone XS. The eSIM makes things very simple. It's an industrial standard technology and lets you activate your new iPhone or add carriers digitally. So you're calling and texting in no time at all. And unlike a physical card, the eSIM cannot be removed if your iPhone is lost or stolen. The iPhone's front glass is ceramic shield. It's made by Corning, the same company as Gorilla Glass, and it's made by embedding ceramic nanocrystals into the glass through a high-temperature crystallization process. The iPhone 12, 13, and now this year's 14 has that technology. Myself, I still put a screen protector on my phone. I don't want scratches, dings, breakage, nothing. The screen protector will always save you from that. However, I don't get one of the cheaper glass screen protectors as they always bubble up over time. I found the Spigen brand to last a very long time, and all 4 corners of the phone is surgical grade steel. The phone is also IP68 dust water resistance up to 6 meters for 30 minutes. The screen is the size of 6.7 diagonally for the Pro model, and the screen is an OLED panel and 2796 by 1290 pixel resolution of 460 ppi. The screen's display is 1600 nits normal brightness with an outdoor brightness of a whopping 2000 nits, the brightest of any phone on the market. The iPhone 14 Pro Max also has something new this year called the Dynamic Island for its cutout. What makes this unique, it's not just simply a hole punch variation. It's interactive with your apps, and according to Apple, more apps will be able to make use of the Dynamic Island as time passes, making it sort of like another display within a display. For the first time, Apple also has an always-on display. It shows the background photo, dims accordingly to the light, and gives you notification that you set up on a customized screen. So this is the customized screen, which I'll do another video on in the future. When the iPhone turns off or you put the phone to sleep, here's what it looks like. It uses a refresh rate of only 1 megahertz. However, in my testing, I did notice that there was some slight battery drain, but still plenty of battery life left to the end of the day. The screen also has the 120 megahertz refresh rate, Or if you're like me, I turn that off. I do a lot of work on my iPad and iPhone, and have found that looking at the 120 megahertz gives me blurred vision. When I turn it off to the 60, I'm fine. More on that in another video. This year's iPhone Pro Max also comes with satellite emergency service, which will be available in November. It's free for the first 2 years. Apple has come out with their own technology to send your location and emergency text in just about any type of weather and anywhere in the world. The iPhone 14 Pro Max also this year has come out with an emergency notification feature. The phone can detect a severe crash and call 911 and notify your emergency contacts if the correct issues are met, which some include sudden speed shifts, abrupt changes in the direction, cabin pressure, changes around sound levels. They also impact. Apple claims to have used 1 million hours of real-world driving and crash data. The processor is the new Apple A16. The A14 is still beating most of the other Android flagships, and Apple continues coming out with faster and faster processors. Nearly 16 billion transistors. It's a 6-core CPU with 2 performance cores and 4 power-efficient cores. It's 17 trillion operations per second, which is 50% more memory than last year. 6 more neural engines and 4 nanometer node architecture. This year the phone also has 6 gigs of memory. Some of the benchmark scores are, the Antutu is 955,884. Geekbench is 5,423, which you can see my Geekbench score. The battery life is the best of any iPhone yet. I can remember my 13 Pro Max having an all-day battery. However, this one even beats those numbers. The battery is 4,373 milliamp and gives a whopping 9 hours and 31 minutes of on-screen use time. The best of any iPhone on the planet, even though giving the example of, say, the Samsung S22 Ultra has a 5,000 milliamp battery with only an 8-hour 37-minute life that beats Apple beats it in over 1 hour with a much smaller battery, utilizing Apple's hardware, software, and processor all working together. There are again 3 cameras this year. The main camera is a 48 megapixel with up to 4 times the resolution of last year. It's a 24 millimeter and a 2 times telephoto with a 15 times digital zoom. Focal is 1.78 aperture with 7 element lenses and sensor shift OIS for steady photos 2nd generation. The telephoto has a 3 time optical zoom and a 15 times software with a 6 element lens, 2.8 focal aperture with built-in OIS, which is optical image stabilization. The ultra-wide has a 2.2 aperture with 6 element lens and lens correction. Here's a zoomed in photo, then zoomed out. It's very high quality because of the 48 megapixel, which isn't always everything, but the sensor on the iPhone is much larger than most others. Megapixels isn't everything, it's the sensor that counts. Sometimes it's better to be optimized for detail. In those cases, the sensor leverages each individual pixel, providing more creative options. This also has a RAW ability at 48 megapixels, making your photos the ultimate combination of detail and flexibility. This photo I took in complete darkness. The only light in the room was from a blue small LED. Notice the top of the picture and the moving fan. Looking at this in person, you cannot see anything. It's pitch black. I'd compare this to night vision. The camera has the ability to see at night, literally. Another reason the camera on the iPhone has incredible quality is because there are 7 trillion operations per photo. The flash is also new this year and is much brighter in both camera mode and simply the flashlight mode. The camera also has an ultra-wide macro lens at 13 millimeter, catching all the detail and excellent focus abilities. The camera also shoots in several different modes. The video modes are 4K at 24, 25, 30, and 60 frames per second, or 1080p at 30, 60, and 120 frames per second. The iPhone also has a built-in action mode that captures all your faster motion without blurs or shaky video. The front camera, which I rarely use, is a 12 megapixel camera for selfies and a focal of 1.9 in HDR quality. Once again though, there's no charger in the box, and the box is a little bit smaller, so I would have much rather seen a charger in the box. They can't cost that much. So that's my detailed overview on the iPhone 14 Pro Max. I hope you found my video to be helpful. Thank you for being here. Please click like and subscribe to my channel. Leave me a comment down below, and until next time, I'm out.